Hi, Robert. This is Dr. Jester. I wanted to talk to you about your paper on Judaism for just a little bit as part of your portfolio. So, if you look at the assignments, write at 750 to 1,000 words on three sections: background and particulars, evaluation, and interpersonal implications. Now, you start out your paper discussing a little bit about the background, and then it kind of just develops from there, but there's not a lot of organization to your paper. That, if you notice how this is organized, even if you only did it according to section and then took a paragraph to discuss each one of these items, that would really help it as far as being organized. But you just in your document, you just take off and start talking. It's not to say that that's bad, but you're writing for an audience. You have to assume you have a reader, and I'm not just talking about me. Think about who would read your document: colleagues, a professor, uh, other students in class. So you're writing to this audience. And so you're going to want to write in a way that is logically developed, write in a way that helps to communicate your ideas and in a way that they can easily follow your thoughts and get enough information where they would have a basic understanding of Judaism, an understanding of that religious perspective, both in the history, the backgrounds, their key beliefs, what they believe on certain things as ultimate reality, their monotheism, what's the purpose of humanity, what's the purpose of creation. So specific step-by-step developments. Now, in your document, there are a couple of things going on. Your entire document, the text is centered. Never center text in the body of your paper. Headers are centered, but your text is always left margin, never centered. So that's a problem immediately. Well, one of the other things we've got going on is throughout your paper, you're using I and we, first person a lot. And one of the things that, if you go back to that list of things I said not to do, and Turabian is very clear on this, follow the style guide. Style guide says do not use first person, I, me, my, we, ours, us, nor use second person, you or yours. Write from the third person perspective, always. So that's what we've got going on. But of more concern to me, now, if I run onto a quote that is not properly cited, that always concerns me. When I run onto more than one, that certainly concerns me and it has to be dealt with. And I've got two of those. I've got this quote right here, and that's not all of it. It continues. There's a few more words down here. But this in red is an exact quotation from the source. The source is JewsForJesus.org. I was concerned that maybe you had looked at that and just forgot to highlight it. Then I've got another one right here, an entire quote. Just a couple of these. There's the source I've got listed right there that Turnitin shows it to be. That's no big. You really don't have any more in your paper. But I look down here, and where I get concerned at, I don't know how you forgot that, because there should be a source listed right here with that. You went to a website, two of them, in fact. You borrowed a quotation. They should be listed right down here. So that creates a dilemma for both of us that we need to solve. And the only way I know to solve that is do what I'm required to do. What I'm required to do is reassign this paper to you. But before I'm allowing you to proceed, you do have to explain to me how this happened. I have to get your point of view. And anytime we run into a situation like this, it creates a problem for me as your instructor. It creates a problem for you, and it could potentially create a problem for the school, GCU. So there are strict guidelines for me as your instructor of this class, how I deal with this. My requirements is to get you to explain it and explain to me satisfactorily how this occurred, why you allowed this to happen, and do so in a way that satisfies the basic requirements of this. If you don't satisfy me, there is no revision, you get 0 points. If it happens a second time, I have to report that as a code of conduct violation to the university. It becomes an ethical issue. Now, I really don't think you meant to do this. I think you got in a hurry, and it's created a problem for all of us. And that's what happens when you get in a hurry and you're not careful about your documentation of research and where you're getting your information. You always have to do that. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to reassign this to you. In the individual form, you need to respond to me within 48 hours with your explanation. If I'm satisfied with your explanation, then I will allow a revision. The revision, you are going to get some penalties for this. So there's going to be a penalty for the revision. And on your revision, you can have no more instances of this, nor in any future papers. If there's a second occurrence, I'm required by the university to report that. And then they will do an investigation. That's how serious they take it. So it's important for academic education that you always document every time you get an idea or you quote from a source. Make sure your footnotes are cited correctly. When I see something like this, it tells me, Robert, that you have not yet brought up the Turabian style guide. You haven't looked at that. If you look at that, you know there's a correct way to do that, and you're not doing it correctly. That's not the way you cite a source. So that's another problem. So these are the steps you're going to have to take. You're going to have to send me an explanation. Then, after you've sent me an explanation, you're going to go to the Student Success Center. You're going to need to watch the video tutorial on plagiarism and how to avoid it. So you're going to have to watch that. Then you're going to need to send me another message in the individual forum saying I watched the tutorial video. Then thirdly, I want you to print out, if you can, the Turabian style guide and start reading that and get an idea how to do this correctly. I think you've got potential, but we have to get over some of these issues because in academics, you could write a fabulous paper, but if an academic reader, if they're looking at all these other things, they're not going to take your ideas seriously because they see all the style issues. And the style has to go together with the content. The content's not bad, but it does need some work. So you're going to have to get all those things correct. And I'm going to upload this video for you. And all of this is going to be in the individual forum for your review. Okay? Blessings on you, sir.